How long does a vocal warm-up last? This is a question that came up in our Singing Insiders community a few days ago, and it sparked inspiration for this episode. So let's dive into answering that question right now. Hi, and welcome to this new episode. I am super excited that you're here because this is one of the most asked questions that I get within our Singing Insiders community. So if you don't know the Singing Insiders, it's a membership for singers that want to become the best versions of themselves as a singer. This is a place to learn about singing, to grow, to get feedback from coaches, to connect with peers. It's the place to be if you want to be a better singer. Anyway, within the Singing Insiders, we have this community, and this is a place where you get to ask any questions that you might have. And I noticed that this was a question that kept on coming back because many singers that start their journey within the Singing Insiders, they're learning that warming up your voice is one of the essential ingredients for a good vocal practice. And the fact that you're here, the fact that you're listening to me talk right now, I'm going to assume that that is something that you understand as well. A good vocal warm-up is, I would almost argue, one of the most important ingredients of your vocal practice. And then the question that comes up is, okay, I warmed up my voice, but how long does this warm-up last? For example, if I warm up my voice in the morning, can I still have a concert in the afternoon without having to warm up again? Or if I want to practice singing a few times a day, do I have to warm up every time I practice a song? Like, that's the question we're asking ourselves. And I understand where that question is coming from because oftentimes we learn that we need to warm up a part of our body before we're starting to activate it. So if you are someone who does any kind of sports, oftentimes you're taught that you need to warm up before doing the sport. I was a gymnast a long time ago, and we always had to warm up before we could actually do some gymnastics. Then I went on to trampoline jumping, which was such a great time. Also there, we had to warm up before we could actually jump on the trampoline. So it's only logic that our brain will tie this idea of a vocal warm-up to singing. And then, of course, we're thinking, well, I need to warm up before I can sing. And that's definitely true. And then, the question is, well, can we use the same approach as with sports within singing? Is it true that you always have to warm up before you sing anything? Is it true that your warm-up can only last for a short amount of time? Now, the tricky thing here is that there's not one universal answer to that question. So that's the bad news. Now, the good news, I'm going to give you a process to go through so that you can figure out the answer for yourself. And the reason why there's not one right solution or answer to this question is because every singer and every voice is unique. Every body, and literally your body, like your physical body, is unique. So the answers to this question might depend on you and who you are. So let's start with this. What is the intention of a vocal warm-up? Like, why do we warm up our voices? Well, broadly, and I can go into specific and I can talk about hours and hours and hours about a good vocal warm-up, but let's keep it short and succinct for now. A vocal warm-up is really made to make sure that your muscles of your vocal cords are ready to be stretched. So whenever we're singing higher, we're stretching the vocal cords. The higher the pitches, the more stretched out the vocal cords are. And in order to stretch them, well, there needs to be some kind of blood flowing and flexibility. Otherwise, we might end up making some, I don't want to say the word, I don't want to say the words. I'm not going to say it, but it might hurt. You might hurt yourself, and we can have some, vocal injuries. We don't want to have that, especially if you're warming up in the morning. During the night when you're sleeping, well, you're not drinking any water, so you're not hydrating your voice. Also, during 8 hours, depending on how long you're sleeping, your vocal cords are not active at all. So they could be very stiff when waking up. And so the vocal warm-up really is designed to take out that stiffness, to make them loose again so that you can then go on and stretch them and have them vibrate in the right way. So that's why we're warming up our voices, to avoid any vocal injuries. Now, with this in the back of our mind, let's take on this logic one step further and imagine that you are warming up your voice in the morning, and then throughout the day, you're not using your voice at all, and you have a concert at night. Will your voice still be flexible and loose and ready to go for the performance? There's a great chance that it might not be. The reason behind that is because throughout the day, that voice has been inactive. Now, not many people don't use their voice when they're awake. So that doesn't really tend to happen for many people. So option number 2, if we're looking at the same situation, you're waking up, you're warming up your voice in the morning, but then you're talking throughout the day. And when you're talking, your vocal cords are active. Maybe you're even laughing really hard. You're going into head voice. So all of those things allow your voice to stay active after your vocal warm-up. If you then perform at night, it might be a very different feeling than if the voice has not been active throughout the day. I hope that makes sense. So here's what we can do to answer this particular question. How long does the warm-up last? Well, my invitation to you, and I'm challenging you to do this, is to test this out for yourself. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to wake up, do your vocal warm-up in the morning, and then sing again after 1 hour without doing a vocal warm-up before. And just assess, identify, how does my voice feel and how does my voice sound? And you can even use a scale from 1 to 10. It feels like a 5 and it sounds like an 8, for example. And a 10 is it feels and it sounds good. A 0 or a 1 might be it feels and it sounds awful, right? And feeling, that's also where we're going to identify any tension. For example, if you do feel any tension, then we will gonna have a lower number. It really has to feel free. That would be a higher number. So wake up, warm up your voice, and then 1 hour later, sing a song and rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. Next day, wake up, warm up your voice. Now, instead of waiting 1 hour, let's wait for 2 hours and sing your song again and rate yourself again on a scale from 1 to 10. Where are we now? Day 3, warm up in the morning, wait 3 hours and then sing your song. And again, rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. How does my voice feel like? How does my voice sound? And then you can build that up. Day 4, 4 hours in between. Day 5, 5 hours in between. And you can go on and on and on until you notice a little pattern. Because by rating yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, you're going to notice that there will be a point where your numbers are starting to drop off. And that's the point where you need to re-warm up your voice. I'm going to say that again because this is really important to get this. So you're going to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. And you're going to notice that there comes a point in time when your scale or your points on the scale are going to drop off. That's the point where you need to warm up your voice again. Let me give you an example. If I notice that my voice feels good after 3 hours of warming up, but then after 4 hours, it starts to feel a little bit more tensed and squeezed when singing, that might be an indication that if I want to sing after 4 hours of warming up, I would need a little warm up before getting into it. So my invitation to you, again, would be to go through this process yourself and see what resonates with you. And see and listen to your voice, feel your voice, and find this answer that is unique for you. Because again, it's different for everyone. I tend to notice that I need a little warm up every time I'm about to do some vocal coaching or a performance or a choir rehearsal. I need to have that little warm up beforehand. But maybe that's not the case for you, and we want to discover that. So that's your homework for today. Let me know how that goes for you and what your sweet spot is, what the answer to this question is for you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Reach out to me. You know where to find me. But I want to thank you for having been here, for spending the time here again together. And if you have any questions regarding anything, please reach out to us. We're here to help you. Have a great day, and I'll see you here again next week. Bye. Do-wop-wop, do-wop.